And we're going to run through a little bit of all the different bits and pieces that it takes to make a system for shrink wrapping boats, machinery, roofs, almost anything. Now it's basically three parts to make the system. One you've already seen, which is the Shrinkfast Heat tool. We'll actually be using it shortly and to shrink a cover down. Then we also have, as the second part of the system, the shrink wrap, which is kind of like the basis of everything. It comes in three different colors: clear, white, and blue, and everywhere from 12 foot wide through 40 foot in width. We also have different mill thicknesses. Clear works best for showing off products that are going to be sitting outside, brokerage boats, brokerage machinery, things of that nature. If it gets too hot out though, the clear shrink wrap lets too much heat in and you can actually have too much condensation or heat damage. The blue works very well in colder climates as a cover for boats. This absorbs heat and allows the snow to slide right off. For other applications, machinery, boats that will be stored even in a warmer climate, white works much better. It reflects heat, stays much tighter than either the other two colors on warm days. And the white reflecting also keeps the product underneath much cooler, which will eliminate condensation also. So we have the heat tool, and we also have the shrink wrap as the second part. Now the third part of the whole system are the accessories that go along to make the job much easier, durable, and professional. Now tapes are very important. It's very seldom that you can do a shrink wrap cover without any type of hole due to tearing, melt, whatever. And the tapes are used to repair that. Now, we have a couple of more safety items that you should see, but before I get into the last few safety items, I'm going to show you exactly what we suggest that you have out of your own toolbox to get the job done. And they're all very simple things. A stapler, and you're going to use this when we're stapling into the support poles and on top of your boat. Handsaw for cutting 2x4s. Tape measure, 25 footer is more than ample, generally speaking. And a fire extinguisher. And fire extinguishers are very important. The shrink wrap that you generally will be using, unless it's specifically marked flame retardant, can burn. So you want to be very careful, and you want to also have that fire extinguisher handy. Along with that, you want to have a ladder. And the ladder just has to be the length or the height so that you can see safely over the job that you're doing. So if you're doing a boat, you want to have a ladder tall enough where you don't have to stand on the top rung, but you can see over the boat so you can see what you're shrinking. Safety first. Along with that, you'll need long cuff safety gloves. And these are insulated, but you'll need these as you will be working around open flame. And if you do not wear a glove, you'll never have to shave your hand again. Along with that, safety glasses. And occasionally you get a blowback of flame and you want to make sure nothing happens to your vision. Our first project will be to shrink wrap a boat. And we've chosen a 19-footer here. And all the same principles that work on this 19-footer will work on larger and smaller boats. What Ryan has done already is put in the center support, which runs from the highest point on the bow to the highest point on the stern. What this does is give you the strength and slope that you need to have snow and ice, water, whatever, run off the cover. Okay, Ryan is now going to put a buckle in, going side to side on the boat over the top of the support pole. As you can see, we have two uprights in this particular boat. And generally speaking, you want to be about 10 inches higher behind the windshield on a boat with your upright support than where the strap normally falls right on the top of the windshield. This will give us the slope so that snow and ice will run right off the cover. So we have a tight center support, and now Ryan is also pulling the side-to-side support nice and tight, so that will give us plenty of support, so there'll be no weight resting on the windshield. He's going to do this one right behind the windshield, and we'll do the one in the aft part of the cockpit also. Buckles can absorb heat quicker than the shrink wrap, so we like to put some tape on them so that the buckles won't protrude through when the shrink wrap is hot. And on the top of the support pole, we're also going to put in another staple to hold the pole upright. All right, again we have the support structure done, and what we have to do to measure how wide the material should be for your boat is to, you always want to be 6 to 8 inches below the rub rail on the boat. So what we're going to do to determine the width of the material is measure from the highest board at the center over the widest part of the boat down to 6 or 8 inches below. We have about 66 inches, and we want to double that figure. And our band is going to go right about here, our perimeter band, and we need another foot, 6 inches on each side, that we're going to tuck under the band. So we're going to have about a 12-foot piece of material here will work very well. Now the perimeter band goes around the hull horizontally, and again this is going to be very tight, and this is what's going to hold the cover on. To hold this band up though, the first thing we're going to do is tie some loops in the actual coming down from stanchion bases or grab rail in this particular instance, using the same strapping. Now this is just a very simple loop that we're going to run the perimeter band through, and this will give us a nice straight line along the side of the boat also. And Ryan will now start running this through, and we're going around the entire boat from the stern, around the bow, and back to the stern again, where we will put a buckle in and tighten it with the tensioning tool. Ryan's coming around now with the perimeter band. Again, it's went around the entire boat, and we want to put a buckle in at the stern where we get an equal pull down both sides of the boat. And the buckle is installed in the strapping so that we can put a tensioning tool on it. And again, we want this band to be extremely tight. This is the band that's holding the entire cover on. If it's loose at all, it can chafe and move up and down on the side of the boat, which isn't good during the winter storage season, causing scratches in the gel coat or paint. Also, if this band is loose at all, if snow is sitting on top of the cover, it can pull the band up, allowing the snow to fall into the cover. And again, the shrink wrap is strong enough to cause damage on some boats if it did happen to fall on the inside of the boat. So Ryan's putting the tensioning tool on right now, and it easily slips onto the strapping. And you can put the strapping through any of the slots in the capstan, and he's starting to pull it tight, and we want to again make this just really, really tight. The strapping itself is a woven polyester cord, and it will stretch only about 1 or 2% just before it gets to its maximum break strength. So we're continuing to pull out. Then Ryan will go down and feel on the side of the boat to make sure it's tight enough before he cuts the strapping off. Ryan's now checking the tension in the side of the perimeter band. Again, we want this extremely tight. He'll also cover the fuel vent at this time. This is very important that the fuel vent be covered so no fumes are escaping. A simple piece of tape over the fuel vent will make that happen. Now, the fuel vent will probably be covered by the shrink wrap, so what Ryan is going to do is put a piece of tape below where the cover is going to go on the side of the boat so we can come back and remember where the fuel vent was, because we do want to open it up again before the after we actually have the cover on the boat.